Oh, good morning, Australia. Hey, buddy.
Hey,
What's
hey.
happening? It's
I'm in the
holiday
ocean.
season. We're getting to the end of the fucking year.
Bobblehead season.
Again, just just when you thought the series couldn't offer up any more goss, we fucking 5 minutes it took us to find another literally unbelievable thing. Like it's unbelievable. It just goes on
Man,
this one.
part
So yeah, I mean, and
five.
this is part fucking five. It's the longest series we've ever done, and it's not even going to end. It's going to end on our Christmas special. So this is not even the end.
What is our Christmas special? What are
Oh,
you talking
okay.
about?
Yeah, I know. We just made that up. All
Or is
right,
it our
team.
solstice special?
Solstice special. So it's the anti-Christmas solstice special. All right. So this is going live on the 21st here in Australia. We are endeavoring to do our longest ever f Zoom call, I guess, interactive Zoom call to actually cross over all three time zones. So it's a 12-hour show. Cam and I are going to be live the whole time, and you guys are going to be able to interact the whole time. It's all completely going to be interactive. And yeah, we've got some of our friends coming on to basically conclude this issue of does the oceans have a bottom?
Have a bottom.
Have a bottom. It sounds very posh, doesn't it?
It does. Does it have a bottom?
Does it have a bottom? I mean, it's such a nice word we never get to use very often. Does
It
it
is.
bottom?
Bottoms.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. So the 21st of December, tickets are on sale now on the website. It's $20.26 for obvious reasons. And we're going to be live as fuck. And that's never happened before on this sort of medium. We only usually do that literally live.
Mm.
And yeah, but we're excited to go international. Like, oh my God, we're gonna be awake for when the Aussies are awake, and then into when the UK and Europeans are awake, and then into the Americas when they wake up. So we're gonna get like three stints of really fresh human beings ready to like throw all their fresh good vibes as we slowly decrease in our energy level and get decrepit and
Yeah.
tired. We're gonna have all these amazing new people coming in to boost it all up.
Keep us awake, yes. Yeah, we always, every time we do a live gig, always people like, oh, is it going online? I can't get there. And then, of course, all the overseas people, oh, we'd love to see a show, so we're doing it. This is the easiest way to do it, right? On Zoom, 12 hours.
Yep.
So come
Yep.
join
There's no
us.
reason why we can't get 5,000 of you on the Zoom and like be able to actually, you can ask us anything at any time. We'll have a couple of helpers there, making sure the questions get through and read. We're going to try some fun things. We're going to do some a truther quiz just to see how good your weird esoteric
Mm,
knowledge is with prizes, Campbell.
yes.
And we're going to play the honesty game, which is fun. And of course, as many drinking games we can make up. And oh, but the main fun bit is that we are going to conclude our ocean series, and we're going to do that by inviting Guy Anderson, Martin Leckie, finally, Michelle Gibson, Dale Holmes, maybe Rachel Vaughan if she's around, to come and offer their thoughts on this whole crazy theory of ours. And yeah, see if we can get some really cool new mustful thoughts on the topic that we haven't even thought about yet. And I hope they've all watched it. I hope you've all watched it out there.
Yes. Go back and watch all four episodes. Yeah. So we're going to have well, essentially a few podcasts, right? A few live shows going out. We're going to have quizzes, like you said, some fun,
Music,
um, music. So yes, if you do
Felice,
play, then
Felice,
let us know. Felice, send us
calling
an email.
Felice with the theme
Um,
song.
so we'd love to have live music on.
Yep, Kent with
But
his ditch.
yep. But if you've recorded something, send it in. We can put it up. We're going to have quizzes.
Yep,
Even going to have
yep.
breakout rooms. Maybe for
Mm.
those people that are looking for love.
Oh, we never stop trying, my friends. Never stop
We're
trying
there for
to
you.
accommodate. Yeah.
We're doing it.
Yeah, and also people looking for land. There's a lot of ads in the paper this edition. So that can be a breakout room where you can actually get into some nitty-gritty thoughts on that topic and
Yep.
just whatever happens naturally, I guess, wherever we go with it. But and also the community, if you are inspired to want to promote something or just add something, you can pre-record and send in a little video to us, which we'll play. And apart from that, you of course get the opportunity to speak. This is a full-on digital community party for us as far as we can get it. So it starts at 8 a.m. Queensland time on the 21st and goes through to 8 p.m. Queensland time. So that's the whole day in Australia. And then it'll be the morning and the evening in other countries, and then just the evening in other countries. But it's all over the place. But it does manage to get the entire international community. And that is fucking exciting, Campbell.
Yeah, yeah, we've never done it before. I don't think anyone else has done it before either. So it's another first, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be like a big variety show, like Hey Hey It's Saturday used to be, right? Fun,
Yep.
well, uncensored, but also not much of a plan. We just got to see what happens, right? Let it roll,
Yeah.
let it
Let it
unfold by
roll.
itself. So yeah, if you do play an instrument, if you're a comedian, if you have a special skill, let
Oh
us
yeah,
know.
and your weirdest story. We want you to come up,
Weirdest.
really think about the weirdest fucking thing that's ever happened to you this lifetime. Like your weirdest story, the one you just get shy talking about because it's so weird, and
Mm,
everyone's going to think that story. Think about that story. It'd be amazing to start to contribute some of those weirdest stories. I know everyone will really enjoy it. And the purpose of the show really is just to hang out. It's on long enough all day that you're going to basically just be hanging out with us. So you just
mm.
put it up on the lounge room screen and do your day. If you have Tartarian friends or community around you or want to like put your hand up to host a little gathering during this time, that would be fun. And maybe like by lunchtime or 3 o'clock, I might let Campbell start drinking. In which case, by about 8, he'll be pretty fucking sloshed, and you should be getting some good dad jokes out of it to end the show. And Campbell's gonna premiere Mr. Autodidactic, the Jolly Swag Tour video. I'm nervous
Yes,
for him. He's
I
scared.
know.
He's got a creative block, but we're pushing through it.
Yes, yes, we're going, we're going. Yes, that will be done. Yes, it hasn't been done quite yet, but yes, that will be amazing, actually. It'll probably be the best part of the whole show.
I have no doubt in you, buddy. I think you can pull it off. The one you made on the Crystal City was excellent. I loved it. It was moving and emotional. I felt it was good. The potential in you to do cinematic drama is there. I just know it. It's
Mm,
just about like locking you in a white room for 3 weeks so you don't get distracted. Yep.
basically, yes.
So that's on sale now. So everyone, you got nothing to lose. It's 20 fucking bucks. It's nothing, and you're gonna come and hang out. So the obviously the star of the show is going to be this like having everyone's thoughts on this topic that we've gone so deep into. But also we're going to do a secondary show because I think we've managed to finally smash and conclude the simulation debate. And I've been
Mm.
sitting on this one because I've been waiting for the moment Cam and I can really get into it. Because, there's a lot of truthers out there who, and me included, have just like, seesawed between these two concepts of is it a simulation, is it not? And I think we have solved it finally and forever, enough for at least my mind to rest on it and to never look back.
Mm. Yes,
So,
yes. So yeah, yeah, that will be a good conversation. And like we said, you guys will be in the chat. You can put your 10 bobs worth in and join in on the conversation. And yeah, it's been a big topic, hasn't it? The old simulation came out of nowhere, I guess all based off the Matrix and movies like this, because it didn't really exist that long ago.
mhm.
And everyone's like, oh, is it fake? Is it fake? So we're going to discuss it, and that's it. You'll have to come and join our Zoom link at
Well,
tartariaaustralia.com if you want to find out our thoughts on it.
yeah, because we're actually not going to air this show. This is going to the special right now. And may I just say that we're not going to just discuss it, we are going to smash it. So I don't believe any of you will be in any doubt after the conversation on that. And that'll end a whole body of work that has been maybe the biggest psychological psyop in the truth community.
Yes, yes. Well, I think you just gave away a bit too much info, but this is the thing. Yes. I mean, I don't
But
want to get into it too much, but it's been massive, right? It's been massive. It's some big truth is all talking about it. Simulation, and a simulation is a world based on another world, right? Like a copy, like a carbon, like a photocopy. So do you think you're living inside a photocopy? Is the question. And
I mean, but Cab, it's not just about like us say yes or no. We've got to prove it. It's got to be
oh,
viably
totally.
provable. So the show
Which,
is
which,
about proving our perspective on this.
yes, which we think we've definitely got some good evidence and some good questions to ask. So you'll have to come along and make up your own
Yeah.
mind.
That one's going to be fantastic. So there's two really good shows that we're going to do during this special. And apart from that, you just get to ask anything you want and hang out and contribute anything. It's going to be really fun. It's a Jolly Swag Tour. It's a digital Jolly Swag Tour across the realm. So
Mm.
that's it. Tickets on sale tonight, and go grab them because you've got zero to lose. and just the funnest day ever to gain. So that's
Mm.
our anti-Christmas present to our community. And of course, the other big thing is that we are going to launch our big and final idea for TA Australia also. So it's really a good, amazing legacy show for the end of this year, and I'm excited. So, and
Mm.
that's only like what, 2 weeks away?
2 weeks.
Fuck.
Gosh, I better get editing. Yes. And what is our big new idea? Well, you'll have to come
Well,
to the Zoom to find out, won't
fuck
you?
yeah, you definitely want to be on
And
this
you want
Zoom
it.
call, guys. You
Yeah.
definitely want to come. Trust us. Yes. All
Yeah.
right. And just quick day update, the newspaper set next week. So that's very exciting.
You're just cutting out a little bit
Yes.
there,
So
Kelly.
you'll all be getting the second edition.
Oh,
Sorry,
but
I was just
you're
getting
back
excited
now.
about the fact that the I'm back. The
You're
new
back.
edition of the newspaper will be starting to be sent next week. So very excited that we
It's,
managed it. So I guess we've made 2 feet on this idea. It's like
yeah,
we're building a persona here. So we've
yeah,
second
yeah.
edition,
And the
two
second edition's
feet.
actually bigger than the first one, isn't it?
Ooh, well, no, actually, it's not. It's exactly the same size.
Is it? I thought it had an extra
I didn't
page.
go bigger. No, that'll be next edition when we start working on 2 legs. So we've got two
Yes.
feet on the ground. So the
And
idea's got 2 feet on the ground, two
and we
editions.
have another idea that we'll actually get out there too, don't we? About the once a year magazine.
Mm.
So again, that's all you get. You're gonna have to come and find out.
Yeah,
There's
it's going
gonna
to be
be a
really
lot
fun.
happening. Yes.
Yeah. So that's it. So the 21st, our time in the UK, and it starts on the 20th, but I've got all the times there and you can see, and it's going to be super fun. So that's that. Newspapers are going to be sent next week. That's that. And now we can start the show.
Now we can start the show. Do,
And
do, do,
yeah,
do.
do 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 do. So right, we're on to episode 5 of the Ocean series, which came out of nowhere. Only a simple question about how did the internet begin? This is where it all started, that one question. And here we are. So I guess I've been doing some look at I've been looking around at the sea in the last couple of days, Campbell, and there's a lot going on in there that I had no idea about. Like
The
for
ocean,
example,
yes. Okay. Enlighten
this is some current world things that are happening on the ocean, not relevant to what we're going to talk about, but just put some context there. So there's obviously it's a vast body of water that's like quite darkened out to the whole world, right? So one horrible thing I watched and I hadn't even thought about was that China owns does between 45 to 77% of the world's seafood. China does it. And you know how it does it? It's really bad. Like they basically
Really?
have, yeah, they've created these massive motherships, like huge motherships. They never have to it's sustainable, right? They can just sit there. And they go in there with a fleet of thousands of smaller boats and this mothership. And then they go to like the Galapagos Islands, for example. It's like you can't fish around it. There's like a protected area. So they hover right next to the protective line, right? And so they send out these boats, these smaller ones, 24/7, and they aggressively fish right on these boundary lines all around the world. And then they go back to the mothership, dump all their fish, and go straight back out. And then eventually the mothership gets full, it goes back to wherever it's going, and then a new one comes. And so these little smaller boats, they never have to go,
Salt water.
they never land. And these people are slaves. So this is full of Chinese people, all sorts of subcultures of people who have ended up, getting these jobs. Their passports are taken away from them, and they basically are imprisoned on these boats that never return to land. And the conditions are disgusting. It all stinks like urine, ammonia. Everything's covered in a thick slime. The boat from years and years of just catching this seafood and on like you can't get rid of it. So we're all malnourished, no drinking water. They're drinking recycled seawater, and they're imprisoned. They can't leave. They're dying and just getting thrown over. And this is the underpinned dark side of our seafood
Mm.
industry. So that's one really dark thing that's happening on the oceans that's shit. So not only are they aggressively mining the seafood at such a rate, at such a level that they're seriously mining the oceans, but also, and if you were an underwater realm, which it could be highly likely, it would be very problematic watching what these boats are doing to the ecosystems. So that's one thing, terrible thing.
Yeah, they've done lots of terrible things, right? We used to have whaling and all this stuff. They just,
Oh,
but this is the parasite, right? It just moves in and just sucks the life out of everything. So be careful what and where you're buying it, and don't eat the bugs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Yeah,
eat seafood.
no, no, they're all bugs, apart from fish, but they're all bugs. Literally the same family as spiders, right? All these lobsters and crabs and shrimps
Yeah,
and
yeah.
mm,
Not fish though.
not
They don't fit
fish.
into that
No,
category. But
no.
so that's one horrible thing. And on the topic of whales, here's another side note that I discovered that the whaling industry began in earnest sort of like in the mid 1800s. Like it had never really been a thing before. And guess what? Guess what?
What?
So you know how we talk about the vampires, there's not cloning, it's vampires. So it's just like a level of immortality that these parasites have managed to gain, and we've seen that quite outwardly now with the celebrities, not even bothering to die and come back as another person. They're just literally like regenerating themselves and like reappearing on our screens like 40 years younger. And they're starting to really outwardly get everyone used to this thing that happens with the celebrities that like they just keep never aging, and we're just
Mm.
getting used to that fact, right? But guess what? So the substance. So I watched a few clips of some actors that refuse to take it to the next level, right, and lost their careers. There's a few of them out there,
Yeah,
and they kept saying that they were offered the golden juice. The
golden.
golden juice. So it wasn't the red adrenochrome, but it was the golden juice. So I started to look at, and guess what that golden juice is?
Well, yeah, it comes from whales' brains, doesn't it? Sperm
Yep.
whales. Mm.
Whale brains. Whale brains. And actually they show a clip in Avatar of this, of them going in and mining this liquid out of the whale's brains. And this is what they use for immortality. And
And
that started in earnest around the 18, like mid 1800s with whaling industry.
it's
So
interesting, right? Because we're told that it was all just to do with getting blubber to make candles. Like the whole industry was just based off making, I mean, in the 1850s, what are we to believe that there was no candles before 1850?
yeah,
Like it's a big, big industry just to do that, right? Which doesn't make a lot of sense. So what else
no.
were they actually, what were they really hunting
Yeah,
for, right?
that's right. And how'd they even know that?
Mm.
If it was organic to humans, how would you even know that? How would you even fucking know that? To go and mine a whale and then get into its brain and extract this golden liquid and then consume it and it would bring immortality.
Well,
But they
exactly,
knew.
right? But if you knew, or maybe were from the ocean, you might know this stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So that's another side note, which is odd and interesting. And I think we could probably look at when shipping really started in earnest in our timeline, and it was around this time. It wasn't like this thing that was like just innate to our culture. The shipping community started to really amp up at a certain time. And we would be able to look at that in our timeline, Campbell.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well, it was 1850s, wasn't it, when they started shipping food? Like when they started this global food thing. We all kind of think it's recent, right? But as far as shipping food around the world, again, 1850s.
yeah, we will look at that next issue. Hey, that's going to be our next show because that's a whole other rabbit
That's a
hole.
whole nother
Fuck
rabbit
me.
hole.
Fuck me. Yeah, so that's another thing. Side note. Um, and then of course there was another weird thing I watched as well. Like, because I just looked up, the dark ocean. I looked up the words the dark ocean. All right, here's another weird thing, just of current latest news, to do with the oceans, is that they have discovered these little, have you seen them? They're like little black metal balls that are sitting on the bottom of the ocean.
I
Yeah,
have
and
heard of
there's like,
this.
yeah, okay, so they're like 5,000 meters down. So they're deep down, right? So you definitely don't have it's not current technology they can use. And these metal balls, it's called black oxygen, right? And there's billions of them. And what it is, their explanation is the pressure has basically pressurized such a degree that these little balls have formed and they're full of metals. Like, so they're full of copper and nickel and all these metals, right? And so, billions of them just sitting there at 5,000 meters. And they're all kind of concentrated in this area of the sea where this little island nation, which you would be familiar with in Australia, called Nauru,
Nauru,
exists.
yeah, yeah, they were using that as a prison, weren't they,
They
for
were
immigrants?
refugees.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. And so Nauru has a terrible history. I didn't know any of this, but a side note, trivia pursuit here. Nauru was basically in the like late 1800s, early 1900s, was like a paradise, right? This little island. But because it was in the path of all these seabirds were basically dropping their bird droppings on this island, like for a long time undisturbed. And they'd formed these like white, mountains. And basically of, I think it was sulfur and how do you say it? Phosphate,
Phosphate.
the
Yep.
mineral that you would use in farm agriculture, right? Like
Yep.
like high fertilizer. So the British discovered this in the late 1800s and then turned up to mine this continent, this island nation. And it is basically historically known to be responsible for the development of agriculture in Australia, New Zealand, and the UK because of this mineral that they were. So they came in and they did that for decades and mined it. And now it's like a wasteland, right? It completely destroyed the ecosystem, typical classic. But to bring it back to today, so basically around Nauru, there's this part of the ocean where these little balls are. And there's all these nations now hovering there with ships, right? Because the law of the sea, even though it's not like in any service to us, is that all anything that comes from the ocean should be the benefit of all mankind, whatever. That's the law. So all nations minus three signed this treaty that you couldn't do anything with anything in the ocean unless it's been proved to be of service and benefit to all of mankind. So guess which country didn't sign that treaty?
Ooh. Didn't, oh, because they want to mine it. USA, China, Russia.
Yes, the USA, USA, right? So Trump has recently declared that fuck the treaty. He's going in, the Americans are going in to mine this metal, right? Now, the thing with mining metal at 500 meters, 5,000 meters down is that they basically would have to suck it up from the bottom. So suck up everything, all of it, the metal, the sand, the bacteria, the weird electrical animals, all the whole ecosystem would be sucked up like a vacuum, creating these massive plumes of like
Damn.
discordant,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, which could have a huge implication environmentally, of course, obviously. But what's weird about Nauru right now is that there's a corporation that wants to mine. And of course, the corporation isn't legally allowed to mine. It has to be a country. So this corporation
Wow.
has basically offered Nauru, who's really broke and small, like money to be their sponsors. So they could go in and represent Nauru as a corporation. And Nauru's job is to basically maintain and make sure that they don't do anything environmentally problematic to the treaty, which of course Nauru doesn't have the resources to do. So this is
No,
the first corporation that has basically got the rights to mine as a country, but it's purely a
a
multi-trillion dollar
corporation.
corporation.
Yeah, weird. I mean, that is a bit weird because all countries are corporations in the end,
Yeah,
right? But
I know it's all just
they've got to play their
synaptic.
little game,
Yeah, it's a little
not
game.
take
Yeah,
anything
it's a
from
little
the
fucking game.
ocean unless
Hmm.
it's the benefit of all mankind. So we're just going to suck up all the fish and the seafood and destroy people's lives because that's for the benefit of everyone. I mean,
Yeah. And they
so
don't
sick.
know. I mean, they tell us that it's just got for the metals, but fucking what do we know?
Well, I
Like it's
mean,
little
what
black
are they?
oxygen. Yeah,
What
black
are
oxygen.
they? Is it tech of some kind
Yeah,
or from
exactly.
an old world? Because that's weird.
It is
I mean,
weird.
it's a weird story. There was just metal floating around, and because there was so much pressure, it just pushed them all in, condensed them into spheres, and
Mm.
then stopped.
Yep.
The pressure only works to a certain degree, and then it stops.
Yep.
That's the right size now. We'll stop pressure and just leave them. We won't keep pushing them. So it's, I mean, that's dumb, right? And then because if you have all these balls and it's all pressure, wouldn't all those balls get pushed together as well? That would make
Yep.
sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting
Well,
one.
a bit
Maybe
crazy.
they could be eggs.
Well,
Anyway,
remember the story about the
yes,
underworld
yes,
volcano
I
and all
did.
the
Yes.
eggs? Yeah.
Anyway, this is a side note of some things. So that there's a lot of things going on in the oceans that we never think about or never get any context for at all. But it's a
Hmm.
vast body of water. But I mean, those metaboles are an interesting one, whatever they are, and it's very current right now. Like it's news now today, because Trump's going in. Classic. They probably need it to open the Ark of the Covenant. I don't know. Anyway, he's probably inspired by God, some little voice in his head to go say, "There's these little metal balls and 500,000 million trillion meters under the water. You must go get them. Oh,
Hmm.
President, we
Yes,
need
if you
them."
line them all up, then I will come back
Yeah,
and inhabit AI bodies and robots,
that's
and you can
right.
be my servant.
Yep. So, like, okay, so interestingly about the metal balls, because of course, one part of this show is to do with the tides and the moon connection, Campbell, and what an insane illogical equation that is. So let's just have a chat about that, because I don't know if anyone thought about that,
The
but like,
moons, yeah, they tell us it controls the tides.
yep,
But the thing is, it only works on the oceans, right? And there's really only one ocean, but so the Red Sea, the Caspian Sea, the Mediterranean, well, that's probably an ocean. The Great Lakes, these
yeah,
massive bodies of water, no tides.
no
Mo
tides.
Moon's not interested.
So that's interesting, right? So, like, we have all been taught that the moon affects the tides, and also to note that the moon itself can be in any situation. Like, it can be a non-moon, a full moon, a slither of a moon, a half a moon. It doesn't matter. The tides will still come and go. Like, it doesn't seem to matter what shape or size or what cycle the moon's in. The tides are consistently going on in the ocean water only.
Mm,
How do we?
yeah. Well, then we got the questions of what is the moon? Is it solid? I think Kelly's frozen. I'll keep talking. Is it solid? Because we've all seen the photos, right, of the stars through, when you get the sliver of moon, you can see stars through the black bit. How's that possible? It's supposed to be just a shadow. So if it's not solid, then they even more question, how is that affecting the tides? Like, have you ever thought of that? Because we've all been questioning what is the moon? And it doesn't seem to be that physical. So, how does a light in the sky suck water in and then throw it back out? I mean, yes. I mean, how would a physical ball in the sky do that anyway? I know it's magical gravity.
Something weird, right? Like, you've literally got it only affecting the ocean water. So, like, that's good to know that it only affects the ocean water. It only affects the ocean water. Is it the salt? Is there some other magnetic force that's actually pulsating from the ocean upwards? Like, it's only the ocean water that gets affected by the
Mm,
tides.
mm.
That is weird. So, that would validate that it literally has nothing to do with the moon.
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally. Yeah. And so there's a few videos floating around with other theories, right? We all know we're not allowed to go to Antarctica, the Antarctic Treaty, but what is discussed less is we're not allowed to go to the Arctic either. Same deal, right? You go past the 66 parallel, I think. And same thing. Air Force planes appear, Navy boats appear, and you can't go any further. Why is that? All the old
Yep.
maps show us Hyperborea up there, right? Four continents, four rivers, and the Tree of Life, or at least the
Yep.
Stump of Life, Rupus nigra in
Yep.
the middle. The Black Rock, by the way. Interesting name. Are you
Yep.
back? Yes. Oh, you're freezing a lot. There you
Am
are.
I am I am I freezing a lot? Sorry.
You're
I don't know
back.
why.
That's
Okay,
all right.
cool. Yeah, I mean the tides, what a bullshit concept. So essentially we've all just assumed that, so we've just taken it for granted. It's what we've been taught our whole lives, that
Mm,
the moon affects the tides. But actual fact, the tides are only applicable to the ocean water, to the sea water, do not affect any other body of water in the world at all, anywhere, just the ocean waters. So that's interesting to note.
it
So we've got
is.
some,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, do you remember there was a photo taken? I think it might have been Russia, from a satellite, right? But basically high altitude of apparently the North Pole. And it showed a big black hole thing up there that looked a bit like a whirlpool or something.
And there's
Very
been so many
interesting.
movies about that. So many movies about whirlpools in the ocean, and things going down there and flipping up to the other side, to the whoom, coming up to these strange new, similar but not the same lands as the Earth. Like, it's just, yeah, that's a side
Yeah,
note. The
like the
tides, man.
PFG. Yeah, the tides. So, yeah, if there is a big whirlpool or something down there that was sucking water in, maybe pushing it back out, and it's in the ocean, and there's only one ocean, they say there's seven oceans, but it's one connected body of water. Is that what the tides are? Is the question. Is it the water being sucked
Well,
down
I've
in
got a
this
theory.
whirlpool?
I have.
Please share.
Yeah. And it's, yeah, well, I mean, just on what's obvious to me. Like, one thing that's obvious to me is it doesn't affect other bodies of water, right? Which are equally as, like, not as big, but there's some big bodies of water out there that,
Mm,
you would, it seems so vast you couldn't see the horizon in any direction, it's big.
mm,
Um, But like if you think about this like a Truman Show or a movie set, like that it's all been sort of kind of like conducted or composed,
Yeah.
then what would be like the greatest and easiest, most effective way to keep people scared of and out of the oceans? Imagine if the oceans had no tide impact. We would lose waves. Would we not no longer have waves? Because we don't have waves in inland seas or lakes.
Mm.
These waves, which are all behind us right now, they really add to this, like, forbiddingness of going into the ocean, of attempting to be in the ocean for too long. This, like, these massive waves that form. Like, it's like looking at the ocean as a deliberate wave forming machine, which could be the reason for the tides. Because with a wave forming machine, it basically prevents us from easily exploring or traveling in it, right? It
Mm.
prevents us. Like you can't go far into the ocean because of the waves without a massive vessel.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the waves are actually like an amazing security system.
Yes,
How's
yes.
that for a concept?
Very good. Another concept is if it is part of the electrical grid, the salt bridge, it's got current flowing through it, which they pretty much tell us, right? Um, how does energy travel? In sine waves. Is that
Sine waves. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
is that
Fuck
the
yeah.
actual wave that we're looking at? It's
The
the
sine
energy.
wave. Ooh, that's good too. Yeah, well, I mean, think combine those two concepts together, and we might explain why the ocean alone, the big old bad ocean alone, is really formulated in a way, constructed in a way to keep us out of it
Mm,
easily.
mm. Yeah, yeah, because everyone says they love the ocean, but you don't. What you love is the
No.
beach. If we
Yeah.
took you out and
The
dropped you
edge.
5K off the shore in the ocean, you would not like it.
No, not at all. You like the edge of the
The
ocean.
edge, yeah.
Yeah, where it's all warm and still and sandy.
Mm.
Yeah. Nah, the ocean's scary as fuck, man. Oh my God, no one wants to go too far into the ocean. I always think it's quite remarkable those people who are literally like choose to sail around the world in a like catamaran or something. I just think, wow, you just haven't been born with that like much fear in your
It's crazy.
you
Like
know
the two youngest people to ever do it were Australians.
cortex.
Like there was a young
I know,
girl, I think,
it's
who's got the
wild, it's
record
radical.
now, and there was was it Jessie, the Lionheart or something? Back in the, yeah, got in these little boats at 16 or
Mm,
something and sailed around the
yeah.
world. That's crazy. Or did they?
Yep. That is crazy. Yeah, but well, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's right. But that's an interesting concept, right? Like we've got this scary ocean predominantly because of the waves and the storms that are generated in the waves, which all could just be systematic of the machine that's sort of like it's constructed around, the actual intention of it is to
Mm,
keep us out of it.
mm.
Because if it was like an inland sea, completely still, hello, the human race would be so happily in and around it. There would be all sorts of wonderful things that were happening, in the oceans. I would assume if it was still, man. I love houseboats. I would
Yes.
definitely enjoy houseboating if the ocean had the same qualities as a lake, but
Yes.
it doesn't. It's scary and there's lots of waves and tides and storms and it's all designed like you would see in any remarkable biological artificial security system.
Yes, yes. So I'm just looking up where the most lightning is. Is there more lightning in the ocean? I'm thinking there should be.
Oh yeah, there's definitely be. Not that we'd be able to gauge that because who's watching?
Wow. Because I don't know, right? 85%. Or at least underneath is unexplored. Oh my
Yeah.
God. AI
And you
come.
know what? I thought of something really funny the other day, Cam. This cracked me up, right? Um, but you're distracted for a second. I'll just let you do this. So, like, we all think like this whole crypto world, right? That's just like an interesting world that we've looked at, right? So we've got like this whole concept of crypto, which in the way that we can sort of like tangibly grasp this very abstract concept is that somewhere above our heads there's this like thing that is generating like a security called a blockchain that's like untouchable, undeniably untouchable, and that they're pushing the economy into the air, right? Like they're pushing it into the air realm. So there's water, earth, and air, and like we've got this idea, we've been sold this concept that crypto is this like the new economy, and it's totally secure. It's totally fucking secure. But man,
Yeah.
do you know what I realized? Which is fucking hilarious.
What?
Well, 100, they always say 95% of the internet. No, they always say 95. They always leave 5% out of it. Like only 95% of the internet runs on undersea cables. That's what they tell us, right? 95%. And that 5% doesn't, they don't explain what that 5% is. And I don't think it's true. I think it's 100%, right? So that's funny to me because Campbell, like 100% of the internet is running on the undersea cables.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
So this notion of blockchain crypto being this secure, like fucking thing that's occurred is only as secure as it would take someone to cut the internet cable under the water.
Yeah, yeah, good
Like
point, right?
literally, like we've been literally sold this idea that the economy and crypto is this secure fucking cloud thing, but actually it all relies on these underwater sea cables. Like
Mm.
literally, the blockchain is only as secure as those undersea water cables. Because if they
Yeah.
all got cut, that's the end of fucking crypto.
Yeah, it
You
all
get it?
disappears, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean,
How hilarious is that?
I haven't
That is so
researched it, but
funny.
crypto is not that secure. Like crypto fraud, people getting their accounts and wallets hacked and all the crypto stolen. It's rife, man. It's happening everywhere. So crypto is not that secure for one. And then the second thing that's funny about that is, and this could maybe lead into what we're going to talk about, is the cloud. They tell us it's a cloud, right? We think cloud up in the sky. It's all under the water. The cloud
Yeah.
exists
Yeah.
under the water,
Yes, it
not in
does.
the
And one,
sky.
not in the sky, and $1 trillion a day is traded on those underwater cables. Our entire economy, the entire economy, our old one, our current one, the new one, is all operating off these underwater sea internet cables. That's fucking funny. That just means that is how insecure it actually is. Like, get rid of this idea of the cloud. Get rid of
Mm.
this idea of the internet being this secure thing that is above our heads and all around us. That is all not true. It's literally all plugged in underwater. So if a life form came along and snipped all those cables, that's the end of the internet.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's the
right.
end of the
Wink, wink.
internet.
If you've got a big submarine and an undersea
I mean,
angle grinder, wink, wink. If it was cut, just telling, just saying.
I know because I mean people like literally they think that internet sells satellites, right? So it's somehow inevitably and ultimately safe. That nothing is going to affect the satellite systems en masse but actually 100% of our internet is running off these like slimy, decrepit internet cables that have been haphazardly, according to them, just laid on the ocean floor. No idea what's on the ocean floor, how deep it is, and just like assumed it's going to like inevitably
Word.
survive. Our
Yeah.
entire, their
170 years
entire
old. 170 years have been down there, just wrapped in rubber from rubber trees, like
tree
the
sap.
sap from rubber
Yep.
trees. And I think they say that they did an update with fiber optics, what, back in the 80s maybe. But that's it. That's everything. And I mean, why would we even believe that they can secure crypto and blockchain when we have to change our password every 2 months for security? They can't even secure your password. How could they secure anything? It's such a, that's a scam, is what it is. They're not
I mean,
telling us the truth.
it's pretty outrageous to actually get into our heads that our entire reality, our entire economy, our
Economy,
entire
yep.
banking, our entire wage system, our entire ATM system, every single thing that relies on the internet, which is our entire existence at this point, this show all
Mm.
actually comes down to old slimy cables that have been laid across our ocean floor. That is how insecure our entire perception of reality is and everything we've come to rely on.
And isn't
you
that
know?
great, right? Like we think it's all this infrastructure and then the system is so ingrained and so strong, but it's not. It's teetering, man. It's teetering on the edge. You know, if 7% of the population stopped paying tax and fines, the system would collapse. If 77% stood up and didn't obey their laws anymore and challenged them, the system would fall over. That's the percentage we need to get to. So it's not this big, all-encompassing giant thing that we can never take down. It's really quite fragile. And, you know, again, anyone got an underwater angle grinder?
Well, I've got to tell you something funny. So, like one of these major cables, it actually makes land in this like Norwegian, very remote Norwegian like fishing village. And like there's this like little red shed, like it looks like one of the bunning, little cheap bunning, red bunning shed. And two of the fishermen are in charge of it. And that's where one of these internet cables lands, like comes to ground, comes back to land, and then it connects to a data center. So like where these cords are coming up from the ocean, they're pretty fucking insecure. Like they're just like they're not like in these like full on militarized complexes. They're just like in these random little places. All I'm saying is that it wouldn't take much for the human race in charge, in its power, to basically unplug the plug. You
Yeah,
know, that's actually how, we think of them as being so big and diabolical and out of our reach and out of our power to change. But these cables, they're just plugged in, man.
yeah.
They're like
Yeah,
plugs.
man. Including all of the AI stuff that they're rolling out, everything. It's all attached to it, all centralized, and yeah, there you go. It's just sitting up on a bloody up in the Arctic or the Scandinavia somewhere. You know, two fishermen protecting it. So it's crazy. Like, so this is, it's not a big thing, right? We get rid of one of those, and the whole system falls.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of them now. Well, according to them, there's a
A
lot of them now, but
million. A
million, but
million
yeah.
kilometers. And I was looking into roads, and that's about like there's only slightly more roads as far as length. There's like a million and something kilometers of road. So, like,
Yeah.
they're saying that there's the same amount of cable under the ocean as we have roads on
Yeah.
land.
I know. Get fucked. And of course, like there's no way of like really protecting it, like unless they're working with Indian more diabolical beings underneath the water.
Yes,
It,
unless they got
there's
USOs and advanced technology down there.
Yeah, because they can
Mermen.
barely keep up with the repairs, like let alone like if there was an underwater war
Eruption,
or
even,
eruption or
earthquake.
anything like the internet is infinitely completely vulnerable in every way, and
Mm,
that's the same with everything that operates and relies on it, which is essentially the whole porn industry, the whole crypto industry, the whole social media industry, the whole news media industry, the whole
yep.
political industry. Like, how could you run a political campaign without the internet these days? Like, fucking hell.
Mm,
Like nothing is without it anymore. Like the entire thing would collapse. I mean, I don't know, it just feels much more changeable
mm.
than thinking about them all being like fucking satellites out there in space that we'll never be able to access or reach. So just to put it into some empowered concept, people.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, it's all underwater, as
All
some
right.
other things might be. We did do a bit of looking, and we have this story of, everything's again, right? Everything's from the sky, like the cloud. It's all in the sky. It's all to do with the air. The Anunnaki means those who came from heaven to earth. It's all the spaceships, the alien gods. They're all coming from the outer vacuum. But basically from the sky down. But is that true?
I know. So, I mean, I guess we've got to introduce the title of this show now, which is simply the question, is God a fish? Is God
God,
a fish,
fish.
Campbell? Is God a fish?
Is
And
God a
fuck
fish?
me. See, I thought that with my new microphone I'd stop swearing. I thought I was going into this angelic tone of mine, but I have sworn a lot today because like it literally took us, we literally asked that question and it took 5 minutes 5 minutes
Not long.
to unravel a story from history that I did not know, Campbell. I didn't know it. I confess I had never really heard this before. I just did not know. I couldn't believe it. I've seen images, but I've never really put together the extent of this.
Yeah, yeah. We've talked about the Dagon and the fish, the Pope's fish hat, the mitre, and a few things, but I'd never really come across this either. We have this story of, again, the gods coming down and imparting wisdom and information to the human race, if you want to call that, to the men and women. And that's how society sort of started, right? They got jump started. It's the Anunnaki and the fallen angels did the same, and all these stories
Hmm.
everywhere. They come down from the sky and give us information that helps us start
Yeah.
civilization.
Agriculture,
Uh,
knowledge, medicine,
yes,
tools, you name it.
the
Hand
lot,
it
yeah,
off.
makeup, technology.
Mm.
But yeah, we had a bit of a dig, and that's actually not the case.
Oh my God. So far out, man. We're about to show you a slideshow of the I mean, instead of us telling you the actual stories, like it is easier now just to show you what we found, which took 5 minutes once we asked the right question. The question was, is God a fish? Now I have thrown
Oh,
like 100 images at Campbell. I'm sure he's added his own.
hang
And
on, that's not right.
these are drawings, these are sculptures, these are paintings, these are murals, these are etchings of the extent of the story of the fishmen. Have you ever heard this?
Oh,
Because all the way through ancient culture, and ancient is a fishy word in our concept. I mean, we don't really know what ancient means. It's an edge, right? But all the way through previous cultures, there
here
is
we
this
go.
idea
Up there.
of fish people, fish gods, fish beings that walked out of the ocean and imparted onto the humans knowledge, agriculture, medicines, all the things that you have heard were accredited to the Anunnaki, to all these beings that have come before in our cultural stories. But I've never heard of the fish people. What's
No.
going on there,
Yeah,
Campbell?
are you seeing that picture or not?
Yeah, I can see that picture.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm
Come
having
on.
I'm having image issues here. Okay, let's try this again. Come on,
So,
Zoom.
I mean, and it's across the realm, right? It is across the fucking realm, my God. So, Mesopotamia, we have the god and I'm going to pronounce this all wrong, by the way, Apakalu, a semi-driven fishman who advised early kings and brought knowledge and culture, nearly identical in form to the function of an Oannes, who was also a fish god that came out of the ocean. Of course, what we're looking at here now is some of the symbologies of how this is integrated into our logos and our well-known brands. Hello. I mean, like you could take one or two of these images and just think, yeah, they're just like cute little metaphors until you actually see the extent of it is
Mm.
so insane. In Egypt, they have Nu and the water creators. In Greece, they have a being called Proteus and the oceanic beings and the old men of the sea and the Titans and the Zeus who captured them and put them all into the bottom of the ocean. You've got the Dogon. And you've got the Christian fish symbol. You've got it turn up in the Hindus under Manu and the Buddhist parallel and the Buddhist Nagus. You've got so many fucking cultural stories that have come up. You can see it in the Phoenicians.
Yep, yep. It's been moved into the Catholic Church as well. The Sumerian glyphs that we all see, carved into the rocks there, like this. Even cave paintings. There was a couple before. Cave paintings have got mermaids and fish gods painted on them too.
Yep, yep. And the story, and it's in the Polynesia. It's everywhere. It's every single continent and culture we looked at had the story of the fish gods that emerged from the ocean and gave wisdom and knowledge to the humans. Time and time and time and time again. You are going to see so many depictions of this. It's insane. It's overwhelming. I can't believe it's not just like the most common body of work in the truth community. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, I was just generally shocked. I was genuinely shocked.
Yeah, yeah,
All
we did a
these,
search on YouTube, right? And we found one person that was talking about it. Like one.
yep, yep. So instantly something that's been like, removed from our awareness. But these are just everywhere, everywhere. All the original and all the
Oh, come back, Kelly.
and sirens and am I not am I not there?
No, you
Look
are
at that
now.
one's
You
interesting.
just
Am
froze
I
a little
back?
bit. Yeah.
That's an interesting one, isn't it?
Mm.
Yes. This is all the way through the Hindu religion, the Buddhist religion, all of the religions, and of course the Christian religion with the fucking fish symbol.
Yep, yep, yeah. In more than one, right? The Mitre hat, and then yeah, back in the day, apparently, like when Christianity was outlawed, they would stand there, and the way that they'd find out if another Christian or person was a Christian is they draw a fish with their
Yep.
foot in the dirt, and
Yep.
that's become the Christian symbol, right? The fish.
Yep.
Interesting. Oh, they're frozen again.
um, the fish ideology, fishism, it's just everywhere through every religion. In fact, and interestingly, the Jewish, this is do you know the story of what we're looking at right now? Go back one.
Ah,
This
oh, okay.
story, because it's
Yeah,
relevant.
yeah. This is the statue that fell,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. You tell it.
yeah, yeah. Do you know why it fell? Do you know why it
Um,
fell?
the Ark, right? The Philistines, was it?
Yes.
Stole the Ark and it did something,
Yes.
and so then they took it back and it made the big statue of Oannes fall over.
Yes, because this is a Dogon, this is a temple. This was a temple of a fish god. And it was really, really prevalent in all of the cultures across the realm. When Jehovah and the Ark of the Covenant came in with the whole Jewish religion, it was the only, and so yeah, they brought the Ark of the Covenant in. There's that connection again, the Ark of the Covenant in, and it toppled the fish god statue.
Mm.
So now, of all of the religions across the world, the Judaist religion is the one that has zero tolerance and will destroy anything to do with fish gods or fish.
Which is interesting
Yeah, this is
because the
interesting,
fish
isn't it?
gods were first, then we get this story of Yahweh's the jealous God and this
Yeah.
part of the pantheon. And he wanted to be the one and only, so he was getting rid of other gods, deities, whatever you want to call them.
Yes. And it's interesting that the Ark of the Covenant was the sort of the symbol or the actual weapon that destroyed all of these temples in honoring that were honoring the fish gods, which are everywhere. Of course, then you get the sirens and the mermaid context, which may be the same race of fish men, fish women, or maybe a separate one. But
Mm.
it does open up this concept because did like two sides of thoughts here because this just goes on forever and two sides of thoughts. One is that the concept of the Titans, Zeus, that whole realm with Poseidon and
So, yeah.
Neptune and yep, they were one race of fish beings, potentially, Campbell, potentially. And that this other invading being, this AI invading thing that now runs our world, went to war with them in some capacity, or did something with the oceans, or somehow entrapped the oceans, or did something. Like, because there seems to be a bit of a conflict that occurs between the fish beings that in those times we were considering God. There you go. There's the Jesus symbol everywhere. Why? Why? And Jesus in the fish story and the feeding the people with fish
The
story.
fish, yeah. Walking on water. Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of stories out there, right? It's all to do with fishy people, right?
So
Fish heads. Yeah.
Was there a sort of can should we be separating? Because right now we've sort of like put the ocean down as a bottomless pit, maybe into the underworld where this invading energies come through, generating electricity to build its AI. Like it's come in, we think, through the ocean and up. But then we've got this crazy concept that was God a fish? And did all of our knowledge and advancement come from fish beings that walked up out of the ocean and imparted it on mankind? And then was there some sort of war between the fish beings and this invading AI? And I mean, that's just like, obviously we're getting towards edges again because
Mm.
this is all pretty abstract stuff, but it's undeniably integrated into our history. There's so many more, Camber. Where are the other ones?
But that was most of them. Okay, let me
Nah,
get some
mate.
more.
I can show you my ones.
Um, Let me
There's
see here.
so many.
Okay, hang on. Let me
All the ones I
bring
sent.
this
I sent
in.
you 80 photos. I
Okay.
can show.
No, I've got them here.
Yep.
Um,
Just because the extent of it, we really want to go through the extent of it. And like, there's so many. So, I mean, mind blowing, really, because like at the end of the day, we started this asking, where's the internet come from? And then we've ended up understanding or asking the question, was God a fish? And then, of course, didn't take that seriously as a concept until bang, every culture around the whole world kind of agreed that God was, in fact, a fish.
yeah, yeah. Well, even Veracocha from South
Yep.
America, right? Peru
Yep.
kind of area, yeah. Fish. And
Yes.
I was wondering, I was looking into the word serpent and all the etymology and all this. I
Yep.
mean, and I couldn't really find a lot. But I mean, why? It's like boats and ships, right? Why do ships have two names? Boats, right? Boat, it's a boat or a ship. Like, why is it the snake have two names? Serpent, snake. Is a serpent actually a snake, or is it maybe more of a
Yes,
fishy
I think it is
person?
true. I think it is true because in so many of these images that I've looked at, the serpent tail and the fish tail is very interchangeable, and they're coming in and out of the water. So
Mm.
this is all water analogy, all water, as if they've risen from the waters.
Yeah, yeah, and Aquaman, right? All the superheroes are basically fashioned or based on gods.
Yep,
So we've got Aquaman there too as well, like Poseidon, and 40,000 Leagues Under the
under the
Sea.
sea. Yep.
That was written again back in the 1800s.
Hmm.
Pre-submarine, pre all this stuff. It's pretty, spot on imagination, right, for someone who didn't know anything about what was under the sea.
Yep. I mean,
All of that
these sculptures,
Japanese, that looks like
yeah.
Confucius.
Yeah, and it's interesting because if you look at the Asian cultures, they're all represented by giant carp.
Calves,
These
yeah.
giant goldfish, these giant carp, fully integrated in reverence. They're protected, reverent, integrated beings. These goldfish, these golden carp, these giant goldfish, all the way through Asian symbology, and
Mm.
so integrated into the gods themselves. Golden
Yeah, yeah. I mean, here's a couple of,
up gods.
statues, carvings, and like they're all holding the fish, all
So
these
I
god
mean, it's just
people.
crazy the amount. Yeah.
Yes,
They're kind of holding them, but also them. They're like holding them, but are them themselves. Like it's all like, and so even in the Japanese
oh,
and the Chinese cultures, you'll see it as well depicted in their artwork. This integration between man and fish and the holy people, man, fish, and the holy people. Some of the oldest sculptures and statues that we have are fish. Some of the oldest. And fish represents good luck and abundance and all that stuff. Again, and you've got the Polynesian islands.
I
I
mean,
think
that's
that
an
was one from a
interesting pick, isn't
Polynesian
it?
island. Yep.
Because that's exactly how the Sumerians and the Dogon were drawing their fish gods, wearing this kind of
Yes.
fish costume thing. And
Yep.
this is clearly like Polynesian,
Yeah,
right?
it's Polynesian.
Yeah.
I know. There was nowhere
India.
untouched by this.
Hmm.
India, the Hindus,
The
the
Hindu, yeah.
Hindu religion. Oh my God. It all started with the fish people. All, did you know that? I mean, I just didn't know this, Campbell. I
No,
can't believe I didn't know this. Did you guys
no.
know this out there that all these things started with the fish people?
Mm.
Not Anunnaki, not aliens, not beings coming from the fucking and all those sculptures. What's that famous one in the where the looks like the man's in a spacesuit and he's in a UFO?
Oh, the
Do you remember?
Aztec. Yeah, yeah,
Anyway,
yeah, yeah.
it's
That's Aztec, where it
the
looks like
Aztec.
he's
Yeah, yeah,
sitting.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Hello, diving outfit. Hello, diving outfit. Hello,
Hello,
underwater vessel.
NASA.
All these alien. Hello, NASA. Exactly. Look at this.
Mm. I mean, it's literally everywhere. Like, yeah, this is the thing. It's all same theme across all cultures, right?
I
You
mean,
know,
look at that.
and all
Look, there's a little
cultures as
devil
well.
coming
The
out of the
same
seashell.
thing. And that one's got a snake, the
Yeah,
serpent, right?
and a devil coming out of the seashell.
Oh, out of the conch.
And the
Interesting.
fish and the
Underwater.
serpent, yes.
And the blue people is another big thing, like the blue skins.
Yes.
And again, you only
The
get blue
blue
animals
blood.
under the water and the blue blood. Like there's no blue mammals, but
Yes,
birds
exactly.
maybe, feathers, but apart from that, it's all fish, right?
I mean, this is like standard classic imagery, my friends, that we
Mm.
knew nothing about, that I'm still can't believe I have not seen these images before. I never asked this question. So it's pretty good to get your head
Oh, there
around.
you
Is
go. What's
God a
that?
fish? That's,
Phoenician or
yep,
Greek? Yeah,
Phoenician. Yep,
Phoenician.
yep, yep.
And another
It's
one.
pretty
So
good to
it's
get your head
everywhere.
around it.
It's
That God
everywhere.
is a fucking fish.
God's a fish. And it's in like the Odyssey and the Iliad, and it's like Jason and the
Yep,
Argonauts, they've all got the sirens in them, which are of course mermaids, but they're also the things that are on top of police cars, right? And ambulances
yep.
run around going wee wee wee
I know,
wee.
hello, the
Beware,
color
beware,
blue.
beware. A
The
siren
color
is
fucking blue.
beware. Yeah, and blue.
Yep, the color
There-
blue. The color
There's the
blue.
blue, the seahorse, right? And all the sea monsters and seahorses that we see in the old maps, and all the old maps up in the corners, they've always got like Neptune. They've got a fishy theme to them,
Yep.
and a lot on the buildings
Yep.
and statues
Oh,
around,
all
right?
over the buildings,
All over the
all the
buildings.
fountains,
Yep, the
all
fountains.
so many fish connections,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
many.
There's a sea cow, right?
Yep. Yep.
So all these different things, and it's everywhere.
Yep.
It's literally everywhere. But we have
All
never,
across all cultures.
and all we've been told is no, no, they came from the sky down, right? From
Yep.
from the vacuum of space, right? Where the gods live. Because I mean, they tell us that the planets, they're all named after gods. And oh no, in the past they believed they were gods. It's just complete inversion, right?
Yep.
Their gods were
Total.
under the water, not in the sky. That the information for culture, the cult of Ur, came up from the waters, right? From under the water. And of course, the ark,
The
went
ark.
across the water.
The ark.
The ark of the covenant, right? The
Yes.
archons. It's,
Yes. Noah's Ark, Joan of Arc, all these ark references.
ark, ark,
Yes.
ark.
Yep.
And electricity moves in arcs as well,
Yep.
right?
I mean, we can't even make this stuff up. Like Campbell and I weren't expecting to find a serious answer to that question, and oh my God, look what we came up with. Like it's just there if you know what to ask, or if you're just trusting your intuition.
Mm.
Because, like now, I've seen it, and now we've all seen it, and now we can't unsee it, and now we've seen it, and now we can understand why all religions have this association with the fish and God being a fish, which brings our whole theory to land, does it not? That we've like literally got, get rid of all the alien concepts, put all of those weird derivative aliens, the amphibious aliens, the greys, the reptiles, the fucking Anunnaki, all of them, bring them back to the waters and all the original. But the question is, why? Why would these fishmen appear out of the water to partake
Oh,
knowledge onto the human? What's their interest? What is their interest in the human race evolving? What's
yeah,
the
yeah.
interest in that?
a-
And then why do they know about agriculture when they're of the waters? So that's another weird question.
it is. And, like the story again that we're given is that they brought society and civilization and they gave us the tools. But what is culture? What is civilization? What is society? I mean, I think we can all see at this point that it's a control system that they brought the first components of the control system and introduced it, right? And ultimately, everything that led off that, look where we are now. Now they're building AI bots so that, their weird fish gods can become embodied, right? And walk around on land.
I mean, because one thing we can definitely say, Cam, is that nothing good has come since the moment these fish beings like appeared and, you know, advanced knowledge and wisdom. It can't be wisdom because we didn't own it, knowledge onto the land. And then from that, we get this like crazy underwater grid that now is in charge of the land. And it's interesting, Cam, because the internet is all the world's economy and every single thing that makes up our reality hinges on these underwater cables. These underwater cables are in the waters, where apparently no one can own the waters, but they're in the waters. So the entire world's data and economy and everything is basically bound by the waters. The waters owns our reality,
Mm. I mean, yeah, it's interesting that no one can
not
own
the
the
land,
ocean.
not the land. And guess who owns the cables now? So it started off as like, private business people into private companies like the telecommunication companies. And now it's all owned by the tech companies, by Google,
Oh, yeah,
Meta,
right, yeah.
OpenAI. They all own now these cables, right? So it's private corporations that now own the world's reality. So
Yes, yeah,
it's
it's
so
crazy.
either A, these fish gods we're looking at are this is part of the invasion, that they have come from the waters up as part of the invasion, because ultimately nothing good has happened since. Nothing good has happened since.
No, no,
Or
no. It's crazy. Like even makeup, right? That was just the first step in what we see today with, the whole sex industry, right?
yep, yep,
Like the beginnings of tech, have turned into a control system of AI, like the food, the agriculture. Wow, they've taken that over and 3D printed
yep,
it and,
yep.
genetically modified and everything. So
If
all of
we ever
these,
had it, if we ever had it,
if we ever
Campbell,
had it, yeah, that's
which
a
will be
whole nother,
next show.
that's another show. Um, but yeah, I mean, people sort of see it as, oh, they gave us, technology and culture made everything better. But really, look where we are. It was all the beginnings of this control system from the waters. And we've got the flood story, right? And that is the most widespread story on Earth. It's most widespread across the most cultures and everything, as is this, what we're talking about now, these fish gods coming from
Yeah.
the oceans.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
everywhere.
Not from the like lakes, not from
No.
other bodies of water, always from the ocean. The flood occurred and it created the ocean. And then out of the oceans came the fish people. And
Mm,
then everything on the land changed. So now we are governed by the law of the ocean. We're governed by the law of these fish people. Our technology is now completely of these fish people, of the oceans. Couldn't even exist if the oceans weren't there, just to remember that fact. Without
mm.
the oceans, we wouldn't even be able to cool the data centers. We certainly couldn't. Isn't it very clever that they put the world's reality under the water and not on the land? Where on the land it could be interfered with, it could be like a private ownership, all these things, problematic things, but it would be of the land. It would be owned by the land, the beings of the land. And what did we
Mm.
learn the other day when we were doing our sovereignty course, Cam? The word human. Very interesting. The word human is literally, break it down to hue, the shadow, the hue of man, the hue of man. And actually, fact, very interesting about the inks. When you sign any sort of official documents, you're not allowed to use colored inks. You have to
Yes.
only use black or blue. Now, isn't that interesting? Blue, of course, being representative of the ocean. Red, of course, being representative of man blood. So when a lady's red,
They
when
always
a
tell
lady's
you.
green,
Yep.
green of the earth, when a lady's green, when a lady's purple, purple of like land royalty, we can
Royalty.
only use black or blue.
Or at least that's what they tell us.
Another side note.
Yes. And this is Jonah, right? And
Yep.
that they've sort of
And this is the only Judaic story that is prevalent in the whole with the whole fish connection.
but they try and put it out as Jonah and the whale, don't they?
Yep.
But it's not. You go and read the text, it's Jonah was swallowed by a giant fish, like
Yep.
as you can see in this picture. So
Yep.
it's not the whale, it's a fish,
Mm-hmm.
right? Basically Jonah disobeyed God, right? Yahweh, and fled into the sea. And then he got swallowed by a big fish. So it's quite interesting. God heard Jonah's prayers and commanded the fish to vomit him onto dry land. Jonah then went to Nineveh to preach his message. So it's the same thing, right? This is controlled by the gods, the fish that swallowed him.
So it's interesting. I mean, just putting this aside for a second, which is what's that? Which is very mind-blowing to me. Putting this aside for a second, and the predominant nature of it across the whole realms, cultures, and religions, like putting all that aside, it's very interesting to me that with the like concept of the oceans and the internet and the ability to basically put all of what we would constitute as a foundational reality back into the oceans, which appeared all at once, that is impacted by these tides that, like, pulse this stormy, wavy fucking ocean that we're never going to go into, where all these gods emerge from, fish people emerge from, but we have no sense of like if they're still there or not. Like, why would they not still be there? These beings look very established, Campbell. They look very established, and they emerge from the oceans. So are they still in the oceans? Are they the ones running this world? Are they from the underworld? Did they come up from through the oceans? What's their actual current status of existence?
Are they mermaids? There's been a lot in the last year coming out on social media about mermaids and shots of mermaids there's a few like skeletons and things around, photos of that kind of stuff. And of course, that's just fantasy, right? Fairy tale. But now we're getting pictures of it. So are they mermaids or are the mermaids,
Or are they whole
they're
different
workers
race?
or are they something completely different?
They seem to have given birth to pre-Abrahamic religions, did
Mm.
they not? They've given birth to that. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
fuck. I
And
mean,
and
how would
is that where NASA's trying to get to, right? Again, it's an inversion. They tell us they're trying to get to outer space and to Mars and to all these planets, but they practice in a pool in diving suits, guys.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah,
they
absolutely.
do. So where are they
Yeah,
really trying to get to? What are they
yeah.
really doing? Because,
Who are
you
they
know,
really serving?
they show us these rockets that go up into the air and we can all see them, right? And they make sure we do get all their video, but we can't see if they're sending stuff under the ocean.
No,
We can't see that.
no,
So we don't know what's
no.
going on down there.
So are they serving these gods? Are they still serving these gods? Is this where we get electricity from? Is this where the technology and advancement comes from? Are they still in service to these gods? Is the satanic god of the Abrahamic religions and maybe the hues of all religions, because all religions are control grids. They're all control grids.
Oh.
Are they all
Mm.
sitting there? Excuse me,
Hmm.
still in service. I mean, the Pope has a fish head. Why?
Is
Like it's just
that?
so, yeah. I mean, so that's the next question, do they still exist? Are these really who are controlling reality from under the waters? And are they connected to the underground or the inverted realm or the upside down realm? Or is this these stories of times that have passed? And have they been, have has there been a war that we don't even know about? I mean, the Phoenicians, they arrived from the oceans. No
From
one
the
knew. The
oceans.
Phoenicians would essentially potentially have been these fish gods. I mean, and also when we're born surrounded by water in our mother's tummies. That's another interesting
And
thing.
we're
Like
under
the
maritime
integration
law,
under
right?
maritime law, absolutely. I mean, did we come from? I mean, we dismiss the story of evolution. This idea of the like the fish crawling out of the ocean and eventually morphing into humanity. But maybe there is some truth in that.
Yeah,
Maybe, I
exactly.
mean, that's crazy, right? Did we actually really come from a race of fish gods? That's
Hmm.
weird. That's weird and odd, and in contrast to the idea of feeling of the earth.
Mm. And that's what they tell us. If there were no oceans, there'd be no life. All life came from the oceans. That's the theory of evolution, right? So hidden in
But maybe
plain
that's
sight.
true. Yes,
Yeah.
maybe it's fucking true.
But they just put it into a different context, right? And so it takes, because they love to stretch time. It took millions and billions of years, right, for all this to happen. But essentially what they're saying is civilization came from the ocean.
I mean, they could eat. I mean, fucking, how sci-fi do you want to get? But like, I've seen plenty of theories and clips online of, there being government massive fucking underwater domes that have just been like breeding beings down there. Like when we go back to Tartaria, Campbell, all those orphans and all of those beings that repopulated appeared to arrive on ships,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
all
yeah.
arrived on boats.
Yeah, a lot of them got, yeah, shipped
How,
shipped
what?
around, right?
explain that. Why did all the people, why did we get no people and then suddenly all these people are arriving by boat? It's just that's a weird part. Like the people have just assumed that because they've been shipped from one country to another, but
Were
did they
they?
just emerge from the oceans
That's
and
the
get boated
question.
in?
Where did they come from? We've assumed it's, like tunnels underground, but is that true? There's that story, and I haven't confirmed it, that there's a tunnel that goes into the middle of the USA, but it's a submarine tunnel, right? And you can get in there. So do these tunnels, are they also attached at places to the ocean? Is that the way that they're doing this? Because we just don't know. It's an edge, but there's a lot of evidence to say that that's what they're worshipping. That's where they come from. That's where
I
the
mean,
information came from.
all these stories of like Mars and all these like populations of these potential like slave races that have been shipped. I mean, that could just be oceanic stories. There could be truth in them, but they could be actually under the water, you know. And like, if the oceans got drained, would we be all in a state of absolute shock if we actually saw what was going on the subterranean level of the ocean? Would we be shocked? Would we be suddenly seeing like entire artificial domed civilizations? Would we be seeing like sophisticated tunnel systems that allowed movement all over the earth? Would we be seeing underwater tunnels popping up in the lakes and the water reserves in the inland seas? I mean, can you imagine if
Yeah.
any of what we and and let's so and would we be seeing the realm of the fish gods? And then would we be seeing our internet plugged into some, energy source that they hold and
Mm.
operate their systems under? Like, would we be shocked at what we potentially would see if the oceans disappeared?
We definitely see a lot of cities, towns, temples. They're all under the ocean. There's
Well, we'd
so
see
many
our flooded
sunken
ones.
cities.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the flooded ones.
Mm-hmm.
But then, the idea of, the ice wall and the flat realm, what's the only way into this realm on that map? It's through the oceans, isn't it?
It's all through the oceans, which is what makes sets it up as impossible for us. So stay on the land, people. Stay, don't
Yes.
look over here. It's scary and forbidding, and you can't get here anyway. So forget it. Put it out of your mind. Put it out of your mind. The fact that, every culture in the whole wide world worship fish gods, put it out of your mind.
Mm.
It never really happened
No,
like
that's
that.
just a
Don't
fairy
worry about it.
tale.
It doesn't matter. Just put it out of your mind.
Fairy
You know,
tale.
far out,
UFOs,
man.
right? We all believe, well, they show us pictures of UFOs and things in the sky and tell us they come from infinite space and all this. But, what sort of came out at the start of this year? They were suddenly all talking about what? USOs, underwater, unidentified submerged objects, right? And then video came out of like UFOs going into the ocean and coming out of the ocean. Is space the ocean? We did the show, what, a couple of years ago.
Years ago.
Is space the ocean? Why do all these elites have islands and submarines and submarine pilots licenses? Because a lot of them do,
Yeah.
right? Like, what's going on here? It's very watery, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it would be one story. It would be one story to look at the mythology behind the fish gods, like, and how that connects to religion and knowledge. That's one side of the story, right? But then
Mm.
when you connect it to the internet and our entire reality funneling its way now under the waters, and when you understand the impossibility of how that story even emerged, and then when you start to see like the patterns with the shipping industry and how this all emerged and when it's like it's not just a story investigating a mythology around religion, or aliens. It becomes the entirely wrapped up in our current paradigm. It's so current and real to our realities right now, So that's why it's a bit of a fucking head spin, like
It's
honest.
crazy. Like, there's a lot to it. Like, we know we've got the stories of the floods, we've got the sunken cities, we've got the electricity, the internet cable, so that's all under the water.
Electricity. Oh,
We've
the
got
sea water, where it came
the
from,
seawater. Yeah,
and then
it's
it's
a
a
salt
conductor.
battery. Yeah, it's a conductor. And then all the elites and leaders and stuff all go to Antarctica, which is the ocean we're not allowed to look at. They all have islands. There's shipping routes just like plane routes. Like you're only allowed to go to certain places. We have, Atlantis and Mu, right? Went under the ocean, right? Like, so there's the ocean is a big part, and of course, well, they tell us 70% of the realm,
And the
right?
yeah, I
So,
know.
what was it pre-flood, right? We know the levels were different, 100%, because you don't go and build towns underwater, right? But yeah, like, how much is natural of the ocean, or
I mean, when
any?
the Great Flood occurred, it occurred, well, from their story, it was the rains that rained down on us, right? We suddenly had seawater versus freshwater within a freshwater system. So if it was rain, we would not have the ocean as it stands. Like the flood, one can only assume that the ocean is the flood water. It has to be, right? But it's just so interesting that the lakes and the inland lakes never got affected, or the freshwater system never got affected by the same waters that rained down that created the ocean. Like, so one can see that the ocean is a contained concept and substance that appeared to be the only way we visibly with our own eyes can observe the results of a great flood, that it all ended up. So that flooding process and the amount of depth to it, the amount of unknown depth. I mean, just to keep putting into perspective, 14 Ks, 14 kilometers, just at a guess, because they've never even reached the bottom. So 14 kilometers, like look up, just imagine 14 Ks. Like it takes me less than 14 kilometers to go from where I live into town. But if I
Mm.
turn that into a straight line and moved it up, so I was actually like could tangibly see how tall that was, it would be it's there's nothing that I could comprehend it with. Like it's what is the tallest mountain that you could stand at its base and see it? Do you know what would be the tallest mountain? Is it
Mount, Mount Everest.
Mount Everest? Is that the tallest? And then how tall is Mount Everest?
Oh,
Do you know? I can't remember.
I think it's was it 10 Ks? I'll have to look it up. Hang
Have a
on.
look. Because like that is like minuscule to the potential of the depth that we're talking.
Yeah,
So
and
we
it's
can,
all guesswork as far as we know, right?
yeah,
Because it's
because never,
unexplored.
yeah, we never
They don't
been
know
able to
how
reach it.
deep it is, or at least, in what the information they give us. And then we've got, yeah, Hyperborea in the inland, Arctic, right? All that kind of thing, and whirlpools, and there's a reason that we're not allowed to go to these places, right? And a submarine is like an airship, right, or a plane. You can't just get a submarine and start exploring the ocean, and even in a boat, you can't explore the ocean, right? They will stop you.
But you couldn't even do it anyway because of the waves and the
Yes.
tides. You need a massive vessel. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically where I got to this
Uh,
week as far
so
as,
eight kilometers, well, almost
yeah,
nine, 8,849 meters.
yeah.
Yeah, is Mount Everest, and
I mean, it's a pretty trippy concept, right? It's a trippy concept to imagine that there's crevices that deep. Like, how deep's the Grand Canyon? It would be minuscule towards
yeah,
this.
yeah, nothing like that. Yeah, I mean,
I
I
mean,
wouldn't think it's a
that
kilometer.
where all that space where the ocean is like the mountains upside down, like magnified to gigantic scale.
Mm,
Far out, man. Like we know nothing of this earth. We know nothing. But the question is, were we ever meant to know anything about it? Like, are we like we are of the earth, and we have fresh water, and we are of the earth, and fresh water fills us with peace, joy, harmony, love. We're drawn to it. We seek it out. We feel regenerated by it.
mm,
The oceans bring us forebodingness and terror and darkness and ineffable deepness that we could never grasp and scary monsters that we only, have an intuition about.
mm,
So we got like I don't know. I just don't know if the underworld is the bottom of the ocean, how much we're even meant to be connected into it or know about it. And why these fish gods emerged from the waters if it wasn't an invasion. Because what would be the purpose and what could they partake on us if they're from the water? What would they know of earth agriculture? Why do they know that information?
Yeah,
It makes no sense.
makeup and all this stuff. You can't wear makeup underwater.
I mean, if we were to emerge into their world, we couldn't teach them about agriculture that would make sense to their world. Like the knowledge they were giving us makes no sense for why they held it, you know? So I don't know.
It's still an edge, but that's the thing. Like, I mean, I guess that was the main point to get across today is all these bringers of wisdom, all these different gods. They're all from the ocean. They're not from the sky. The Anunnaki, even the Sumerians, which is where the Anunnaki stories come from, and the Enlil and Enki, all from the sky, all from space, right? But we just showed you pictures, and if you go and have a look under the Sumerian glyphs, you'll see fish gods, fish gods, not space gods.
So
There's
would
not one depiction of a god with a bloody space helmet on. Not that we even, what is a space helmet, right? There is no space. Well, outer space.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like our presentation at this point is getting messier. Like I feel like it's getting messy in the way we're speaking about it now because we're just still like you're watching us sort of decipher
Work it
it
out.
together. And unfortunately, the question that we asked and the answer that we got is putting us back onto an edge, right? You can feel the edginess of it. You can feel that it's getting abstract again and a bit lofty again, and it's getting a bit annoying, a bit frustrating to have to go there again, but connecting the internet to electricity to the ocean, that was very current and very current,
Current.
very very present. So it was very dynamic, and I felt very like we were on a clear. So this is like a bit of a messy side thing
Mm,
again. So I feel like we're a bit messy in how we're speaking about it. But, that's sort of where we got to this week on this
it
topic.
is. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to discuss it and tie it up on our Zoom meeting, link in
Yeah.
tartariaaustralia.com. And we're going to get some people in to give us some more points of view. So make sure you don't miss it.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we have like I guess now there's probably lots of little bits that Campbell and I have not thought about that we're excited to see what our friends bring to the conversation and you guys on this Christmas special, what you want to bring to the conversation. Because I'm pretty sure by now you've all like got tiny little things that you want to add to this. So the Christmas live Q&A for 12 hours is basically on that because it would be good to conclude 2025, with this theory, to conclude sort of to the best of everything that we've got, all of the whole community into this theory and just like, get to sort of like a coherent, and we'll never get to a conclusion, but just sort of a coherent enough idea that we're all sort of like, okay, that makes more sense than anything else so far. And we like rest it
Mm.
for a while and until it sort of reemerges in some of the capacity. But yeah, we're literally looking at a really bizarre quirk of this current world. Would you say, Campbell, from this sort of information, that Jehovah or Allah or any of them, whoever, whatever word,
Oh, Yahweh, yeah.
the God of the Abrahamic religions, would you conclude that it indeed is a fish?
Well, I would, yes. Well, maybe not a fish, but from the ocean. From the ocean, I would. It's definitely all linking up. Like there's some truth to all the sciencey stuff. So the theory of evolutions, I think, is a very good pointer, right? They tell us it all came from the ocean, right, and all this kind of stuff. But I was just also thinking about baptism, right? You've got to go under the water
Yeah. Yeah,
for
absolutely.
baptism, right? And then
Yep.
you're reborn under God.
Yep, absolutely.
So all these things, that there's a lot tying in, that the flood stories, the ark across the ocean, the ark that then goes onto land, it kills everyone, all these arcs, right? The archons. And if you've missed it, I think it was series 3 when we talked about the internet and the different levels. And it goes down, and the base level is the arc. What was it? The prime arc,
Yep.
right? Third level
Yep.
was the Mariana, as in the
Yep.
Mariana Trench level.
Yep.
So it was very oceany,
Yep.
and like we just said, the cloud, right? It's still watery, but it's the inversion. The cloud's actually under the water. It's in the
Yep.
cables. So
Yes.
there's definitely a lot. I mean, and I personally think that this is a good, I think, be a great documentary if we set it out all properly, got all our thoughts in line and put it out as a story because there's so much to it. Like we're on episode 5, right? That's never happened before. I don't think we've got past two episodes on one topic. So there's clearly a lot here, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
I agree with you. And it was interesting because the whole way through it, as we've like overlaid this concept with our theory of the invasion and the Abrahamic religions, and which started with the Ark of the Covenant, and well, not didn't start there, but the first technology emerged through the inspiration or the words, hearing voices in their heads or hearing God in their head. Give them essentially blueprints to create these really advanced unknown and very new pieces of technology. And the Ark was the beginning of that, right?
mm,
And then of course the connection with the Ark. But the idea of what and now that Trump's wanting to like build the third temple, and all the Abrahamic religions are behind it and building the third temple, which is all designed to hold the Ark, right? So when they hold the Ark in the temple, and then the whole weird story of the Ark, literally, I was thinking the other day, what's going to happen? Like they're going to open up this Ark, you know, and like we've always chewed on the topic of Project Bluebeam here in the Truth community. And it's interesting that the word blue's in there.
blue,
Blue,
yeah, yeah.
blue water, blue ink, blue ocean, like it's in there, blue beam. And whenever you see images of the art dictated in artwork or on movies, there's always this massive amount of blue white light that comes shooting out of it when it's opened, and it basically kills everything in its sight, like the ultimate energy weapon.
Mm,
And the fact that it was a piece of technology, and that the God was always connected to lightning, appearing with lightning, and this weapon would like had the force of like electricity, like a giant electrical bomb, and it would destroy cities and nations, and it would like cause death, instant death, like electrocuted, or because all there was like instant death. So I was thinking to myself the other day, and I've already shared this with you, but like imagine when, because the other thing that I always see associated with blue light appearing and destruction happening is the
what?
rapture.
Oh, I was thinking blue light discos, no?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, yeah. But it's the rapture, right? It's the fucking rapture. Of course,
Yeah, well,
don't forget blue light from these fucking
yeah,
blue
yeah,
lights,
yeah, the blue light, yeah, the
blue.
light died, yeah, yeah.
And
But
the blue doesn't burn when they use their weapons. The
yeah, yeah, the
fires is
Jew
always blue.
weapons. Yep, yeah, definitely. And I mean, the sun looks like it's turning blue. But yeah, we saw, what was that movie? This is the End. Is that what it was called? It's a really bad movie. People do not watch it. Seth
Yeah, oh that
Rogen
one. Yeah,
and a
yeah, yeah,
bunch
yeah.
of small
Yeah,
hats, right?
it was weird and
It was
icky.
really crappy. But they had the Rapture in it, and yeah,
Yeah,
blue light. So I'm getting sucked
blue
up by the
light.
blue light.
Yeah, all right. So that's interesting, right? Whenever you think about the rapture, people get sucked up by the blue light, right? And
Mm.
it's like being sucked up. They've been told and they've been prepared that God will rapture them and take them up into the heavens through these columns of blue light. Now, it's interesting that with the like idea of the ark being opened, what if in that moment all the people that had pledged the allegiance and pledged in very physical ways as well, aka taking the vax and putting in all these metals in their food, all that shit that goes on, they're the ones that get raptured because they've already said yes to the AI grid, the AI beasts, the AI hijacking. They're the ones who get raptured. Basically, their souls get turned into like basically the mainframe
Yeah,
of this AI technology, the matrix, the mainframe, the
the
AI, just
control
the
grid. Yeah,
AI, the
yeah,
data centers. Let's just keep it real. They get
yeah.
sucked into or morph back through, recycle back through the oceanic data centers. I don't know. I'm just like,
Well,
is it a
I mean,
soul
it's
trap?
all maritime law is joinder. It's joinder. That's why they say it's by consent. So
Join
what
us.
was the whole
Join
jab
us.
thing? What were they consenting to?
Yep, yep,
Were
yep.
they consenting to Yahweh's army or the fish god's army, or to worship basically and sacrifice themselves for this god? And yeah, like, are they the ones? Because again, electricity, right? Self-assembling nanobots, in the Jabby Wabby. So is that built a system that when the arc gets open and a certain frequency or amount of electricity is there, they all, you know, Rihanna is that the zombies too? Like, are they going to have internal
Yeah, I know.
electric skeletons that make them
Yeah,
run somewhere, or they just get
yeah.
sucked
Yep.
up because it's all, they're controllable, right? They're part of the circuit then.
Yeah, because
And
you can see how the electricity at that level would supercharge all of their nanotechnology, all the bio weapons, all the bio poisons, all the metals. Like they've created this grid around
well,
us.
is that the zombie apocalypse,
Exactly.
because
Yeah. You can
like
see how to reanimate things, right?
well, we know a lot of people have passed, right, since that, and they've got that in their bodies. So what happens when they're laying in the ground for a couple of years, and that's
Yes.
the technology is still self-assembling. It's got nothing to do with their physical body. So is that the zombie reanimation apocalypse that all these people will
Yeah.
climb out of their graves, but it'll be their internal nanobot skeleton walking them around?
Yes, yes, and
Okay.
like for the few bodies that they actually bury, for the few
Yeah,
bodies that
yeah,
actually get buried,
yeah.
because like
In the
there's
cemeteries
like
they don't
very
have.
rare that they bury bodies, but yeah, they certainly could. But I saw the other day on that topic, some guy was at a graveyard and he was going over the new graves with this like electric magnetic device that can pick up any sort of activity. And he was going through these graves, and all of the graves were like had activity, like had bioelectronic activity going on. I'm not going to use the right words here, but basically he could tell that there was electrical energy coming off these graves.
Wow.
So imagine if the Ark of the Covenant literally was enough of a surge in this when it's opened by Trump and the crew, that it actually basically activates what Jay would say is the plasma apocalypse.
Hmm.
But what would essentially be just activating their own grid. And in that time and in that moment, everyone who's activated in that way, they're like they lose their memories. They're like, they're taken over, and even if it's only for like an amount of time. It's like how easy then is to like to wipe and reconfigure the neuronic pathways and thus the reality of all those beings that
Hmm.
are, impacted by it.
Now,
And then,
the Ark of the Covenant, right? Covenant is an agreement. And you can think of arc like, as a spark, really. The spark agreement, So is that what it is? It's going to let out the ultimate spark, right? Electricity, and
yeah.
they have to then fulfill their agreement, which they joined with when they let some dude who was just practicing and doctoring things put stuff in their arm. That's consent.
So, I mean, it's a shitty topic. It's a shitty topic, right? There's fucking
Yes,
heaps of people that didn't know what they were doing or weren't
no,
conscious
no,
of it.
no.
It seems very unfair
It
and
has, but I
shitty.
mean, a lot of people have woken up since, and there are protocols that a lot of people are doing to get this stuff out of them. But yeah, for the ones that don't know what's going on, who are just following the system because they're fully in it, they love their maritime law, and you know, give me more, God, right? Please, please, God, can I have some more? Take some more tax. Give me some more fake food. All
Oh,
this crap that'll never wake up. Yeah, is that their fate? Because we've talked about the split a lot, right? And most people kind of think that it's the people who are more aware are going to go to some new world. I mean, I don't believe that, but is it maybe the ones that of the lower vibration that consented? Are they the ones that are going to go somewhere, and we, the meek, are left to inherit the earth?
well, I mean, maybe there is some things that we, the meek, need to attend to before that moment. I mean, we might need to be protecting ourselves, like from this sort of moment in time. I don't know, just they're just all theories, but
Yeah,
like connect them all to the blue, blue. It's just interesting that again, it's blue, 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 and always depicted with this blue lightning-like energy around it. I just
but
how
yeah,
that all ties into the ocean. I mean, and does that do something to the oceans at that level with the sea water, with that sort of pulse? Like, what does it do? What happens to the rest of the environment and the waters, particularly?
it's a very good question. Let us know your thoughts below in the comments. And something that we've never done before, like and subscribe and share this around, guys,
Yeah,
if
we've
you've
never
got to
done
the
that.
end.
That's funny. We truly never remember to think about that.
No.
Um, All right. So look, everyone, I apologize for the looseness of our conversation today. It's just that, we're at an edge again and it's annoying again. And the fish god question threw us because like there it was. And then that puts us back into the fucking edge. And
Mm.
all right.
But it's an
So
important piece of the puzzle, just to let you all know that there's fish gods everywhere, stories of fish gods, and they're the ones who brought, the knowledge that, to advance us into civilization and all this kind of the cult of right?
I mean, how many times? I mean, this is where I'm going to verge on the information that we've had in the past. Like when you've read like David Icke and you've read like all the simulation theorists, but you've read all these people who introduced us to so many of these topics so long ago, and not once did I read about fish gods and
No,
fishmen. No, I did not.
no.
It was all skewed towards aliens, and it was never. And that this took us 5 minutes to find. So why has a massive chunk of the truth community that introduced us to so many things and topics 20 years ago omitted this conversation?
Mm,
Why has it never been there? Why is it not old knowledge to us? Why is this not? Oh, I just don't get it. That's an interesting thing. So I don't know.
yeah.
Like I don't think you could say you're as well researched as David Icke, for example, and never to present the conversation of the direct links to the ocean and these fish gods.
Yeah, I mean, because
Just
all
saying.
these big, researchers, they do a lot of search through religions. How did they not come across this? It's a very good question because what would make more sense is that of course they came across it. They just omitted it from what they're telling
Yeah.
us. And why
Yes.
would
Why
they
has it
do
been
that?
omitted? Yes.
Yeah.
Why has it been so omitted?
Mm.
Yep. I mean, that's a good question to ask, and you could probably hold that conversation up to anyone who claims to be well researched and, have they covered this topic and why have
Mm.
they not?
Because
And then
we
thus
definitely
how
don't claim to be
researched
well
are they?
researched, and we found it.
Yeah, we don't claim that at all. We certainly don't claim that. Not at all, And but there are many that claim to be the most well-researched entities on Earth, and yet they have omitted this detail of what would seem magnitude proportions and connection to our current reality. So I just think interesting, just putting
Like
it out there.
they're literal creation stories of first contact with gods. It's pretty big for it to just be left on the wayside. Like the start, like the literal start of civilization. Like I
Yep,
said, these are the fallen angels who gave us all the knowledge, right? That created
yep.
this amazing society that we're in. So it's a very good question, right? Like, so
Hmm.
ask that of the big researchers you're looking into. Have they talked about this? And if not, why? Send them
Yep.
emails. Let's get
Hmm.
answers.
Yeah, I mean, like, fuck.
Like,
I
fuck.
just think, fuck. I just think it's like a very good thing to think about. It's
Yeah.
observable anyway. It's observable.
It's
Hmm.
observable. And it looks like your new microphone's broken. So anyone can send her a new one if you've got one, because it used to stop her swearing and it's broken.
How true, how true. I don't, it's true. I can't hear myself quite like the other day. So there seems to be a thing when I hear myself at a certain tuning, my swearing ceases and I start to speak more angelic. And I don't know. We'll see. It didn't happen today.
We'll see. Yes. If you want to see how that goes, tartariaaustralia.com tickets are now on sale for our 12-hour Zoom meeting. We will be well, not maybe not concluding.
Party,
We'll
Zoom
definitely be
party,
at the party. There'll be
meeting.
breakout rooms,
How
there'll be
dire.
quizzes, prizes, there'll be special guests, there'll be podcasts, interactive. There'll be a chat for the whole time. You can ask us questions. We'll have moderators checking all that stuff out and helping us. So, solstice party, you don't want to miss it. The event of the year.
Certainly, certainly our legacy of the year summarized at least.
Yes. Mhm.
All right, everyone. Well, you have a wonderful week and have a chew on all of that. And if there's anything you'd like to say and anything you'd like to take note of, do come to the party so we can so you can offer that information up because we don't
Mm,
just want to hear from other YouTubers. We want to hear from everyone who's been fucking mastermindedly watching this and all the thoughts you've had independently. So cool,
yes.
man.
Our
I'm
amazing
excited.
thinking audience. And of course, volume two. of the newspaper coming out. So if you haven't got it, if you haven't signed up,
Oh, sorry.
tartariaaustralia.com.
One last thing. Thank you for reminding me. I have to read you one last thing. Let me just find it. Um, because when I was doing the back cover of the newspaper, sorry, I was just
Oh,
finding it.
yes, yes.
And I wanted to find an original, like an original newsprint ad or something on the topic
The ASEAN.
of the transatlantic cable, right? But I want to read you something. This is a direct quote, and just to like, I just got to read it to you, right? To end the show. Here it is. In September 1866, yet another expedition organized by the newly formed Anglo-American Telegraph Company succeeded in laying a new cable and recovering, repairing, and installing the one lost the previous year. So that's 1866. They not only laid a new cable, they fixed the old one. There were now two transatlantic cables in operation, and their improved design yielded dramatic improvements in speed and capacity relative to the short-lived cable of 1858. And here it is. Field was hailed as a visionary, ready, with writers describing him as the angel in the book of Revelation with 1 foot on sea and 1 foot on land, proclaiming time is no longer.
There you go. From the ocean to the land, messing with time through
One
internet
foot,
cables.
1 foot on sea and 1 foot on land, proclaiming time is no longer. The angel in the book of fucking Revelations. Just fucking saying.
It's quite a revelation.
Wouldn't it be fun if truthing was like it just feels so rock star sometimes when like, you can proclaim these statements. It would be fun if we had more of a, I don't know, more of a vibe when it comes to, I don't know. What
We
am I
need
saying?
more
Shut
truth.
up,
We
Kate.
need more truther bands, don't we? Who like get the information across in songs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Stood
I
in
don't
the
know what it
ocean,
is.
1 foot on the land.
I know.
Revelation,
Something,
man.
something more. Anyway, but
Interpretive
yeah,
dance, maybe? I don't know.
when I
Let us
fucking
know.
read that, and that's direct quote out of the original newspaper articles I was looking for. I mean, I was just like, get fucked. One
Mm,
foot on sea, 1 foot on land, proclaiming time is no longer. We've been invaded. The job has been done. Angel
there
of the
you
Book of
go.
Revelations. All right.
Yes. Awesome.
Next
And just
week,
remember,
people.
guys, if you're a musician or a comedian or anything and you want to do something on the 12-hour special, send us an email. Tartariaaustralia dot at what is it? Tartariaaustralia at gmail.com.
Thank you, Campbell. Get that right. And next week we have a brand new show which has nothing to do with the oceans. It has, well, it kind of does. Actually, it does have a little bit
Everything's
because
got to do with that.
we did find it via the ocean conversation. And yes, it's just, but I'm not going to call it part 6
No.
because it's not quite. But it's an exciting topic. You're going to love it. It's really profound. We were shocked as well. And again, it was, yeah, it did come from the ocean conversation. That's true, actually.
All
All
right.
right, people, you have the best week ever. It's been a tough one, hey? The energies have been dense this week, last week, this month. Everyone's getting fucking tired. It's been a bit exhausting. The
It
energy's been a
has,
bit,
yeah. Everyone's been
yeah,
saying that. Yeah. Yeah,
yep,
definitely. So, grab a drink, rest up, watch our shows, come and join us. We'll be back next week. And say awesome.
yep. Stay awesome. Stay awesome. Okay. Love you guys. Have a great week.
See you
Hmm.
next time on the next upload. See ya.
Tartaria, Australia. Bye.